I'm Josh Light with PoliticIt.com here in North Carolina with Erik Anderson, who's running for Congress as a Democratic nominee. How are you doing today?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing fine. So tell us a big difference between you and your competitor in this race.
Well, there's a lot of differences. Age is definitely probably the biggest known. Money is also known. I didn't come from money. My background is not from money. I'm a businessman, which my opponent claims he is, but has never worked in the business field. Pretty much since the day that he graduated high school, he went to work for his dad, and who was the U.S. congressman in the 1st congressional district. So I didn't have that privilege of starting out in those kind of shoes. And one of the big things is he talks about experience. Now, I use my real-life experiences for my experience for running for this position. I am a Marine Corps veteran, a disabled Marine Corps veteran, and there's a lot of similarities with sending our young men and women to war that we need to look at before you could say you're against the war 4 or 5 years afterwards when you're writing those letters home, but he had no real solutions in trying to get us out of the war. He proposed nothing. In a recent interview, he basically told the listeners of a conservative talk radio that he is an ineffective congressman. Now, this is his words, and these are the words that his opponent in the Republican primary tried to use against him. So it's not Erik Anderson talking, it's what he said to the conservative talk radio. The real question comes out to is the dollars. I obviously come from small donors. I try to ask for less than $100, and he gets most of his money from corporations, lobbyists, special interests, and then people wonder why he votes the way he does, and that's the reason. So I definitely am against Citizens United. I would like to see that be constitutionally amended. Money is not speech. And those are my big core differences. He believes in the personhood amendment, which I am against. That's another big social issue that we're disagree on. He believes that public schools, for instance, shouldn't be funded by the U.S. government. He believes that emergency funding shouldn't be funded by the U.S. government. Him and his friend Erik Cantor, or Congressman Cantor, and so there are some major differences between Congressman Jones and Erik Anderson.
And when you're out on the campaign trail, you're meeting a lot of people in District 3. What fiscal issues are they concerned about?
Well, they're concerned about jobs. In Eastern North Carolina, we sit at above 10% unemployment rate, right around there, and we have for the last 20-plus years. And we've switched governors, Democrat, Republican. We've switched presidents, Democrat and Republican. We've switched state elected officials, Democrats and Republicans. The one thing that we haven't changed in the last 18 years is Congressman Jones. So everybody's talking about jobs. How do we bring jobs to the East? Now, I believe we bring jobs to Eastern North Carolina through wind energy. My opponent does not believe that in wind energy, does not believe in offshore wind, would like to see more offshore oil rigs. And he takes a lot of money from the petroleum companies. And that's how he gets his funding. And you pretty much can say where you're going to vote, who you get your money from. So,
what social issues are people in District 3 concerned about?
Well, there are always hot-button issues with social issues. But I do not believe, I am myself pro-life. Because if I was ever to be in that situation, I would be the responsible adult, and I was the one that caused it. But when you're talking about rape or incest or health of the mother, then I do not believe that the government should mandate that, should not be involved in that decision. That should be between you and your God, or you and your family. So.
Now, we looked at the numbers. You had a high digital influence, considering that you're not the incumbent in this race. Why is it that people are talking about you a lot in the online world?
I think the biggest difference is the age difference. Obviously, he's much older than I am, and he relies on older technologies. But I rely on the social media. Facebook, I think it's a valuable tool. Facebook, Twitter, all these different media outlets. That's what we should be concentrating on it. And you know, you spend a little bit here, a little bit there, and you'll get to your market.
And how are you using Facebook and Twitter?
Facebook and Twitter, I have a candidate page where you can like that. And I also have my Facebook page where I let individuals know what's coming up and you know, where I'm going to be speaking at next. Our district is so large; it's 22 different counties. So, letting people know where I'm going to be speaking at is very important to me because I can't call 700,000 people that live in my district, 733,000, or the 433 that are registered in my district. I can't. 433,000 that are registered. I can't call them in a single day. So using that media, especially that free media, because that's probably another big reason why I use that. Like I said, I ask for small donations because I do not believe in large donations that influence a candidate. I believe in a collective, you know, a group effort to elect a candidate, you know, more so than certain individuals. Like my donor base is much larger than Congressman Jones. For individuals, his donor base is larger when it comes to corporations, special interests, and super PACs, which I think is the wrong way to go because I almost believe, in my heart, I believe that is a form of bribery because you're sitting on a committee that's supposed to regulate said interest, whether it be in military-industrial complex because Congressman Jones sits on the House Armed Service Committee, or whether it be in the banking committee because he sits on the House Banking Committee. So those two big things, I do believe that he should, or you should, basically excuse yourself from decisions concerning that, or definitely not take money from those special interests. So money has a lot to do with the social media because it is free. When you're looking at TV markets, we have 4 TV markets in our district. So they all want a piece of the, you know, the advertising change. And it's hard to get in there. It's hard to raise that kind of money that they want to advertise something. You know, you're talking $2,500 for a small spot, $5,000 for a 30-second ad. Even newspaper print is getting a little too pricey.
So where can people go to learn more about you, Erik?
Well, you can go to www.electerikanderson.com. That's my website. You can also go Twitter me on Anderson4House, Anderson #4 House, or you can go to my Facebook page, which is Erik Anderson. But any one of those three, or candidate for U.S. House Erik Anderson, but any one of those three, you'll be able to find me.
Well, thanks for meeting with us today, Erik.
No problem. Thank you for having me. This is excellent. Thank you.